What is going on, YouTube and everybody around the world? This is Sonic Mix, and today I am going to give my review of WWE NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. NXT Brooklyn happened about maybe 30-40 minutes ago. I actually just got back from my cousin's house, so that's why this upload might be a little longer to upload. I thought this show was amazing from top to bottom, bottom to top, and all around. I will say that this probably topped the first Brooklyn last year. I know that might be a hard argument, but I personally thought number 2 surpassed number 1. Without further ado, I am here to give my review of all 6 matches that we had tonight, and without further ado, let's get started. The show kicked off with No Way Jose versus Austin Aries. By the way, I liked No Way Jose's entrance with a crowd of people basically doing a train, 2 laps around the ring. I thought that was pretty cool. But on to the match itself. This was a great match. I felt that both guys were very well even. None of them didn't really seem to be more dominant than the other, and I personally thought Austin Aries gave No Way Jose arguably the best match of his NXT career. And this was, without a shadow of a doubt, once again, a great match in my opinion. Towards the end, Austin Aries was on the turnbuckle. He did a sunset flip powerbomb, and then rolled up No Way Jose and put him into the last chancery, and No Way Jose tapped out. Austin Aries won the match by submission, and then after the match, he put the last chancery again on No Way Jose, and then Hideo Itami came out. This is where things got a little exciting. So Austin and Hideo had a little bit of a showdown, and Hideo did his chops and his kicks, and finally, after teasing it for a year and a half-ish, he finally hit the GTS on Austin Aries. Unfreaking awesome. That's all I gotta say. And hopefully now he can finally start using the GTS and basically, hopefully, this puts the whole CM Punk thing out of the way, and now we can start focusing with the GTS on Hideo Itami. Great match, great stuff that happened at the end, and I personally give this match a 4 out of 5. I know some people may think that's a little too high, but with the aftermath after it, hands down, this was a 4 out of 5. Hands down. Up next, we had Billie Kay against the debut of Ember Moon. This was okay. Definitely the weakest match of the night. Match was kind of short as well. I think this match only went about, I think it was like 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. I don't remember. I wasn't keeping track of what time it was. Billie Kay, for the most part, dominated the match, and Ember Moon actually was very athletic, had a good agility with her, and she seems to be really good. Although, like I said, she only pulled off a few moves here and there because, once again, Billie Kay was dominant for most of this match. But in the end, I've never seen this before, Ember Moon was on the turnbuckle and basically did like this corkscrew into a stunner, which was really freaking cool. I can't really explain it. You would have to see it for yourself, but it was really good. A lot better than that springboard stunner that John Cena was using last year, which actually Cena has stopped using that, thank God, because that never looked good anyway. But this corkscrew stunner was a thing of beauty. Once again, never seen this before, and I think you guys should definitely check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. I give the match a 2.75. I mean, like I said, the match was okay. It was on the short end. Billie Kay, for the most part, dominated the match. At least that's how I felt. 2.75 out of 5. Up next, we had Bobby Roode against Cien Almas. Want to point out really quick, I love the entrance to Bobby Roode. Really freaking cool, and everyone in the crowd was singing the Glorious song, including myself watching it. Freaking cool. I just want to point that out. On to the match itself. This was a fun match. I liked how like Cien was kind of toying with Bobby Roode, kind of like that, hey, anything you can do, I can do better, or I'm one up on you. And then, of course, obviously, Bobby Roode got his revenge, got payback. Very good match. Love some of the stuff they did. Some of the dives from Cien. Actually, there was a couple moments, a couple spots that Cien did, and I thought that was really good. I can't remember it offhand. I know there was one where he jumped on the rope and then jumped out of the ring and onto Bobby Roode on the outside. Really good stuff. Very, very solid, good match here. And Bobby Roode picks up the win with the, I think he called it the Glorious Bomb, which is kind of a pump handle slam. I don't know if that was originally his finisher. I mean, I know who Bobby Roode is, obviously. I know he was in TNA, but was that his original finisher, or did he have something else? Let me know in the comments section below, because I swear I thought he had a better finisher than that. But that's what I thought. I give the match a 3.5 out of 5. Up next, we got what I felt was the match of the evening. The Revival against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Phenomenal match. Can't say anything more than phenomenal. There was some good tag team. The Revival, absolutely phenomenal in this match. And they show why they are the best heel tag team there is. And Gargano and Ciampa getting that big face moment, getting the hot tags, and then the Revival basically stopping the faces from trying to make any tags or do anything special. The one tiny problem, and I kind of have to nitpick it, there was kind of a slow moment around in the middle of the match. But it did pick up extremely quick towards the end. Towards the end, Ciampa and Gargano hit, I think it was Wilder. It was Dash Wilder with the double super kick, and Gargano got the pin, but then Dawson put Wilder's leg on the rope. The ref actually did hit the 3. You could hear him hit the 3. Everyone got excited in the crowd. Everybody thought Gargano and Ciampa won. But then the referee ruled it, said that Dawson or Wilder got his foot on the rope. Thus, the match continues, goes on for I think like another 2 minutes, and then Dawson puts a, I think it was like some reverse figure 4 on Gargano. Gargano has no choice but to tap out, and the match ends right there. I was shocked. I really thought that Gargano and Ciampa was going to win. But it seems like maybe they're going to make the rival lose to someone else. Maybe TM61. Which I guess kind of makes sense in a way. Seeing that TM61 were saying like a couple weeks beforehand that they felt that they were the deserving champions. So if they're going to go in that direction, they're going to have to make TM61 definitely a threat to be reckoned with. But phenomenal match, awesome match, 4.75 out of 5, almost a 5 out of 5, but still phenomenal match, match of the evening. Up next, we got Bayley versus Asuka for the NXT Women's Champion. Once again, this was a very good women's match. I felt this was better than the one in Dallas, and I think it went a little longer than the one in Dallas. There was actually a couple moments where I did thought Bayley was going to win, but in the back of my head, I pretty much knew Asuka was going to win because it kind of wouldn't make sense if Bayley won, seeing that she had her moment last year when she was looked at as the underdog. So this one was no exception. Very good moments, very good shots, kick shots from Asuka. especially towards the end. What I liked when she kicked Bayley in the side of the head. Bayley got up and basically acted like it was nothing. And then Asuka kicked her again and then gave her the final kick to the head and got her for the 1-2-3. I love the end where Asuka helped Bayley. They hugged it in the ring. And Asuka basically patted her on the back and then walked to the back. And then the moment with Bayley hugging Becky, Sasha, then eventually Charlotte, who was kind of off to the distance. Very good stuff. Once again, I enjoyed this better than their match in Dallas. And Bayley had the good, proper send-off. And I say this is the time to put Bayley on the main roster. I personally give this match a 4 out of 5. Once again, I think some people may give it a little bit lower, but I thought it was a 5. I thought it was a 4 out of 5. Excuse me. And then up next, we got the main event. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. Special entrance by Shinsuke Nakamura. That violinist was superb. Big, huge props to the violinist for being pretty much in sync with Shinsuke's music. And oh, wow, that entrance was phenomenal. To the match itself, I felt that this match was slow for the beginning and like halfway in the middle part. But then it got very interested. The crowd was red hot for this. Actually, the crowd was very red hot for mostly all this match, which I think that's why this match, or all the matches, were good to great, and that this show was great. That Brooklyn crowd, wow, even I can't talk from that phenomenal show. Thumbs up to the Brooklyn crowd. Wow, once again, I can't talk, excuse me. Back to the match. Slow for the most part of the beginning, then kind of in the halfway point, but it picked up very good. I love the muscle buster that Joe gave to Nakamura, and then the Shinkei-sa, the first time when he delivered it to Joe, kicked out. I think some people probably thought Joe was going to probably then win after that. I almost did thought that, but once again, I had the hunch Nakamura has to win because he's been built so strongly, and he's got to look strong and look really good if he wins this match. And then finally, Shinsuke, I think he flipped him over, and then Joe got up, kneed him, give him the Shinkei-sa one more time, and picked up the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Shinsuke Nakamura is definitely your new NXT Champion of the World. Awesome moment, phenomenal moment. This show overall was spectacular. Great, phenomenal show. I give the match, I give it a 4 out of 5 as well. Like I said, it was slow in the beginning, but then it picked up really well with that very good pace towards the end. And the crowd towards the end was getting into it, and they bought the fact that Nakamura was going to win, and thus Nakamura won. So 4 out of 5 for that. Overall, I felt this was a very excellent show. In my opinion, there were 4 matches that were at least a 4 or above out of 5. Austin Aries, No Way Jose, which I thought was a 4. The tag team match, 4.75. And then Bayley, Asuka, Joe, and Nakamura, 4 out of 5. And then Bobby Roode, and then Amos was a 3.5. Once again, it was a solid match. And then the only weak match, I'm not saying it's bad, I just felt it was kind of weak. The Ember Moon and Billie Kay match, which was the shortest match from the rest. And once again, Billie Kay mostly dominated, but it was a fine match, but 2.75 out of 5 for that match. Overall, I give NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 a 9.25 out of 10. I thought this was a very superb show, and if you haven't seen it, I would highly suggest you get the chance to watch it because this was indeed a great show. And with that being said, this wraps up my review for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your like, comment, and follow me on Twitter. You can find it in the description box down below. And tomorrow, Sunday, after SummerSlam, I will be doing a review on WWE SummerSlam 2016. Until then, everybody, you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow when I give my review for SummerSlam 2016. Have a good night, everyone.